Nothing changes until we change. If you are sincere in your heart to want to bring real, lasting, positive change to the world, it starts with you. You want to change your family? Change you. The worst thing you could do is to go home and try to convince everybody how it should be this way. Two of my early operating assumptions in life that really caused me a lot of pain and it confused me a lot. I operated under the assumption that everybody wants truth. Why wouldn't you? And I operated under the assumption that everybody wants to grow. Why wouldn't you? And it wasn't until I looked at those assumptions and evaluated they were an inaccurate way of showing up in the world that I was able to gain back a certain level of peace and connect with humanity. If somebody doesn't want to grow, you can't force them to grow. Now, my dad would always say you can't lead a horse to water, but you can salt the oats, which simply means create conditions in which the pain of staying the same is great enough that they want to change. And we tried to do that here. Standards, hold people accountable to standards, which even that proves to be challenging. But ultimately, you can't force someone to grow. And very often, by trying to force them to grow, they'll like dig in stubbornly into their bullshit. So now more than ever in my career, I am just looking for people who are looking for me. Right? I'm having a lot of fun. I do a lot more private coaching, something I wasn't sure I was going to get into. I'm having a lot of fun coaching these guys. And they're getting a result in their life. Well, what happened there? Those people were looking for me. I didn't go looking for them. They came looking for me. Hey, I need help in my relationships. My marriage is falling apart. Hey, I want to lose 60 pounds this year. Hey, I want to double the revenue in my business. I want to be a more successful owner. Well, great. So I don't try to force change on anyone. Just they're not ready. That's fine. That is why it's important that we have minimum standards, because the minimum standard says, hey, as long as you're doing above this standard, you cannot be ready, and I'm okay with that. If you're not even doing that, go work at Starbucks. Go make some lattes and think about your life for a little while. Come back to us when you're ready. And it kills me because I'm still a sucker for this. Sometimes they'll come back and they'll be like, I'm different now. I figured it out. What's different? Da-da-da-da-da. They come in. No, it's the same person. It's the same person. I refuse to believe that people can't change or won't change, because that's a different world altogether, and I don't want to live in that world. But to change takes work. It is way easier to blame society. Life is happening to me. I'm at the effects of life. Who's the one person you have a shot at changing? That's it. You want to bring change to the world, bring change to yourself. Imagine if we took back, maybe not 100%, but let's just say 90% of the energy. If you don't do this, you probably have people in your life, like your parents. Anybody grow up in a family that as soon as the first person came home, the first thing they do is turn on the television, and it's just in the background? And everybody watched the fucking news while dinner was being made or while dinner was eating dinner. And naturally, what do those people want to talk about? President, the Republicans, the Democrats, the fucking pick your movement. It's their fault. Nothing changes until we change. If you are sincere in your heart to want to bring real, lasting, positive change to the world, it starts with you. You want to change your family? Change you. The worst thing you could do is to go home and try to convince everybody how it should be this way. If I would have spent time as a young man trying to convince people that being a business owner was a better way to be, son, that's risky. Well, talk to us when you've done it. Well, that sounds like a great theory. Do you think I get any of that shit now? Hey, would you mind, could we just talk? I would love to understand what you do. Man, it seems like you're really doing well. I'd like to understand that. Now they're asking. I don't have to offer. See the difference? If you're grossly overweight and you want to tell people about how to get healthy, is anybody listening? No. Get shredded, have a nice light glow to you, clearly be in good shape, and people will fucking ask. That's how you bring change to the world. Bring result that makes people pay attention. 85% of humanity, at least, is full of shit. And they've got lots of theories and they want to run their mouth. Don't pay attention to people's words. Pay attention to their lives. And then ask yourself, do I want your life? Do you have healthy relationships? Are you healthy in your body? Are you healthy spiritually? Are you healthy emotionally? Are you healthy mentally? Pay attention to those people. They're far and few between, but they're out there. And then people will ask, well, how do I do that? That's a great fucking question. So, I'm not looking for people. I'm looking for people who are looking for me. I'm just trying to do my best to make sure they find us. And they'll take advantage of it because they'll see it and they'll get to fucking work. How do I know that? Because I did. For those who don't know me, when I started the business, it was just me, which means guess whose happy ass was in the field? Only our first contract was in Rancho motherfucking Cucamonga. And I lived in Aliso Viejo. For those who don't know geography, that's a 73-mile fucking And I had a V8 Jeep, which means I literally watched my gas gauge go. Oh, and it was 100% commission back then because it was just me. Well, won't the government pay you? No, not then. Maybe a few years ago, and it fucked a lot of people up. But no, government didn't pay you to just show up. You only got paid for your result. That's a novel idea. What's the one thing if you solved for the most other things? I'll walk you through this just so it's clear. I'm a leader. We worked really hard to build a roadmap for your success. There's good parts to that, there's bad parts to that. But you don't have to question what you have to get good at. We literally have KRAs, key result motherfucking areas, to go, hey, don't worry about the TPS reports, worry about that. Why is that important? Because a lot of people want to get promoted on shit that nobody cares about. And then they go into their boss and go, hey, I'm really good at my TPS reports. And the boss goes, nobody cares. That's not impacting the bottom line. And they're like, well, fuck, that's what I enjoy doing. That's what I'm good at. So we created key result areas. Hey, here's what you got to get very competent in. And we start pretty simple. And embarrassingly, I didn't have these first KRAs for the first 18 months I was in business. Because you know what I assumed? Back to assumptions. Assumptions make an ass out of me and umptions. Yeah, why wouldn't you show up on time? Of course you'd show up on time. Why wouldn't you? Of course you'd be a professional. Why wouldn't you? Of course you're going to do what's right by the customer. Why wouldn't you? Of course you'd have a student mentality. That's why you're here. Why wouldn't you? And then I realized, oh, I am projecting me on other people. Foolish. So I stepped back and I said, no, we'll make some KRAs around this. We'll be clear. Here's what this roadmap looks like. That's just to get in the game. Okay, well now you're a leader. Not because of a fucking title, but because of how you show up. Great. What do you got to do? If you're a leader, what's the number one thing you got to do every week? What's the constraint in your business? First thing I do is I go look back at 2023 and I'd ask myself honestly and realistically, going back to the first thing I said, we must be real about where we're at. In 2024, I will get better at that thing. If I were to bet, I'd bet most of you though could quickly come up with an excuse why you didn't get it done in 2023. Now, the degree in which you know me, you're probably going to tell me something you think I want to hear. It's on me, bro. No excuses. It's on me. I got to own that shit. The degree in which you may not know me, you may say, it's a campaign. It's the office space. It just doesn't, I don't know, doesn't vibe with me. It doesn't feel right. I can tell how sophisticated you are by what numbers you're tracking in your business. Find out what the constraint is in your business. Who here wants to be financially free? You need to ask yourself very seriously, what do I value more than that? Because it is getting in your way. I got asked all the time, hey, how did you become a millionaire so quick? I'm like, I don't know if I fucking got there quick. It doesn't feel that way to me. But I guess from the outside world, for a lot of people, it did. But my answer was always very basic and simple, and I think it got missed because my answer was basic and simple. Because very often, when something is expressed in mastery, it is very basic and simple. And the simple answer was, I deliberately, consciously, and with a high level of discipline and commitment, made decisions that were in accord with what I wanted most. Meaning, I made decisions based on my goals. And that included what I ate, how much sleep I got, what podcasts I listened to, if I even looked at fucking Netflix. Everything went through that filter. Is this relationship helping me get closer to my goals? Yes or no? No, bye. Is this book helping me get closer to my goals? No, bye. Because that is doing whatever it takes, which is why so few people get to the goals they say they want. Because very often, the only reason we look up and commit to looking up is because we can no longer look down any further. We are literally at rock fucking bottom. And then we go, okay, I'm ready for change. And I'd like to see people do it without ever having to get there. Go interview your aunts and uncles, maybe it's a parent, that hovers in the woulda, shoulda, coulda. You know these people. I probably don't even need to explain this to you. They're the people in their 40s, 50s, 60s that want to tell you all the reasons why they should have been a success and they're not. Go ask them what their reasoning was. Go ask them why they didn't get it done. And if it doesn't make you fucking tremble just a little bit, you are missing it. And then make sure that you humbly learn from their lack and go, that's not going to be me. Don't judge them. Judgment's going to get you in a whole other set of problems. Don't judge, just learn. Because nothing is going to change unless you fucking change. And the change you do isn't just for you. It's for your entire family. When you start changing, the energetic exchange of that means the people around you will begin to change. Maybe not at first. In fact, at first, they may see it as a warning, warning, warning. They're changing and they may attack you. Not because they want to, because they don't know what else to do. It's an instinct. But over time, as that change begins to bear fruit in your life, they'll start asking you questions. Hey, why do you think differently about this? Hey, could you help me with this? Yeah, I'd be happy to. Be the change you want to see in the world. It starts with you, and then it filters into your social circles. Otherwise, this shit just continues, and I don't think anybody wants to continue. If we pass the same problems on to the next generation that we fucked up as bad as the last generation. We want to just explain to our kids the reason the world's fucked up and even worse than it was when we were kids is because we didn't do our part. Anybody cool with that? No. Then let's get to fucking work.